Cessna 172 Skyhawk, the legendary trainer that shaped aviation. Channel, Aero Explorers. Welcome back to Aero Explorers, your home for aviation stories, flight history, and the aircraft that define our skies. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the Cessna 172 Skyhawk, the world's most produced aircraft and the undisputed champion of pilot training for over 6 decades. Whether you're a private pilot, a student just getting started, or an aviation enthusiast, you've likely seen, or flown, a Skyhawk. But how did this humble high-wing aircraft become such a legend? Let's explore. The year is 1956. America is booming, aviation is taking off post-World War II, and more people than ever want to fly. Cessna, already known for producing light aircraft, sees a gap in the market, a simple, safe, 4-seat plane that almost anyone can fly. They take the successful Cessna 170, a taildragger, and rework it with tricycle landing gear. The result? The Cessna 172. The high-wing design offered stability. The fixed gear offered simplicity. And the new nose wheel made landings easier, especially for student pilots. In its first year, Cessna sold more than 1,400 units, a massive success at the time. Little did they know, it was just the beginning of a record-breaking run. Let's break down what made the 172 a winner from a design standpoint. It has a 4-seat configuration, with pilot and co-pilot up front and room for 2 passengers or light baggage in the rear. Cruising at about 122 knots, it's not built for speed, but it's efficient, stable, and forgiving. Early models came with a Continental O-300 engine, producing 145 horsepower. Later, this evolved to the Lycoming O-320 and O-360 engines, pushing up to 180 horsepower in the modern Skyhawk SP. Fuel tanks typically hold around 56 gallons, giving it a range of 600 to 800 nautical miles depending on the configuration. Its fixed tricycle landing gear makes taxiing and landing much easier for new pilots, and reduces maintenance headaches. The high-wing design improves downward visibility and keeps the wings out of harm's way on the ground. Every part of the design reflects its mission: safe, practical, everyday flying. The cockpit of the 172 is another reason it became a flight training staple. Early models featured traditional round dial, steam gauges, the classic 6-pack instruments, airspeed indicator, attitude indicator, altimeter, turn coordinator, heading indicator, and vertical speed indicator. This setup gave students a strong foundation in analog flight. But over time, the Skyhawk evolved. Modern versions, like the 172S and 172SP, come equipped with Garmin G1000 glass cockpits. These feature 2 large LCD screens for navigation, engine monitoring, and digital flight instruments. You'll also find autopilot systems, moving maps, terrain warnings, and ADS-B out and in for traffic awareness. Whether you're flying in visual or instrument meteorological conditions, the cockpit layout of a 172 prepares you for what's ahead. It teaches essential skills: scanning instruments, managing power settings, and flying by the numbers. What's it like to fly a 172? In one word, predictable. The aircraft is incredibly stable in flight. It naturally returns to level when disturbed, which is a dream for students. It stalls gently, with plenty of aerodynamic warning signs like a mushy yoke and noticeable buffet before the stall itself. In fact, many instructors say the Skyhawk is hard to get into trouble with, and easy to get out of trouble in. Takeoffs are smooth and manageable. Cruise flight is steady, with minimal trim needed. Landings are a little more of an art, as always, but the aircraft is forgiving if your speed is off by a few knots. Crosswind landings are also very doable, thanks to responsive rudder authority and good low-speed handling. For solo students, that first takeoff in a Skyhawk is a confidence-building experience they'll never forget. There's a reason most student pilots learn in a 172. It's not just about how it flies, it's about reliability, cost, and community. The airframe is durable. It can withstand the hard landings, over-controlling, and repeated use that come with flight training. Parts are widely available. Mechanics around the world know how to work on a Cessna. Operating costs are low, with fuel burn around 8 to 10 gallons per hour and basic maintenance costs well understood. Flight schools from the US to Australia use the 172. Some run fleets of 10 or more. And for students, the transition from training to rental is seamless, because once you learn on a 172, you can find them almost anywhere. The Cessna 172 isn't just a student's airplane. It's used for sightseeing tours, aerial photography, pipeline inspections, wildlife surveys, even medevac in remote regions. Some bush pilots modify 172s with tundra tires and short takeoff kits. Police and military units around the world have used them for reconnaissance and training. Even NASA used a specially modified 172 for research flights in the 1960s. The Cessna 172 hasn't remained static since 1956. It has evolved through multiple versions and improvements, adapting to technology, regulations, and pilot needs. In the 1960s, the 172B and 172C introduced updated engines and interior comforts. The 172D and 172E refined the electrical systems and fuel capacity. The 1970s brought the popular 172N and 172P models. These had improved avionics, more comfortable seating, and better fuel efficiency. Many pilots flying these models today speak fondly of their smooth handling and simplicity. By the 1990s, the introduction of the 172R and 172S models pushed power output to 160 to 180 horsepower and featured modern avionics options. This era saw the gradual adoption of glass cockpits, a game-changer for pilot situational awareness. Throughout these decades, incremental improvements never compromised the core qualities: safety, ease of use, and durability. Cessna listened to pilot feedback and incorporated small but meaningful upgrades, which is a big reason the 172 has stayed relevant. The Cessna 172 has been part of many iconic flights and adventures. One of the most famous was in 1958, when Robert Tim and John Cook flew a 172 for over 64 days straight, a record for the longest continuous flight. They were refueled in the air multiple times in an incredible feat of endurance. Countless bush pilots have taken 172s deep into rugged wildernesses, delivering supplies and medical aid to remote communities. Many celebrities and famous pilots have owned or flown 172s because of their accessibility and reliability. It's often a pilot's first love, the plane they learn to fly in and cherish forever. Let's get technical for a moment and explore what makes the 172 aerodynamically stable and mechanically simple. The high-wing design isn't just for visibility. It also gives the plane a lower center of gravity, which enhances stability. Think of it like a pendulum effect. The wing's airfoil is designed for gentle stall characteristics, making the transition from cruise to stall smooth and predictable, perfect for training. The fixed tricycle landing gear reduces pilot workload during takeoffs and landings and lowers maintenance complexity compared to retractable gear. Its fuel system is gravity-fed with a simple electric boost pump, reducing the chances of fuel starvation and making it easier to troubleshoot. Inside, the control surfaces are manually operated via cables and pulleys, no hydraulic complexity. This means fewer things can go wrong and maintenance stays straightforward. Let's hear from some instructors and students who have spent countless hours in the Skyhawk. Many instructors praise the 172 for its forgiving nature. It lets students make mistakes but keeps them safe, one instructor said. Students often describe their first solo flight in a 172 as unforgettable, a mix of nerves and exhilaration. Some share how the 172 was their gateway to a lifelong passion for aviation. Stories like these illustrate the emotional connection pilots develop with the plane, beyond its technical specs. The 172 is truly a global aircraft. You'll find them flying in the Americas, Europe, Asia, Africa, and Oceania. In developing countries, the 172 plays a vital role in pilot training programs, enabling aviation growth where resources are limited. Its reputation for durability makes it ideal for rugged environments, whether it's the jungles of South America or the deserts of Africa. Cessna 172s have helped create aviation communities worldwide, connecting people and enabling commerce. What does the future hold for the Cessna 172? Cessna continues to produce and update the Skyhawk with newer avionics, fuel-injected engines, and even hybrid or electric propulsion concepts under research. The 172 will likely remain a cornerstone of flight training for decades because of its unmatched combination of safety, cost-effectiveness, and familiarity. General aviation itself is evolving with more digital integration and eco-friendly technologies, but the lessons learned in a 172 remain fundamental. Pilots trained on a 172 gain skills transferable to many other aircraft types. Before we wrap up, here are some fun facts about the Cessna 172. The nickname, Skyhawk, wasn't officially adopted until the 1970s. Before that, it was just known as the Cessna 172. It holds the record as the world's most produced aircraft, over 44,000 built since 1956. The Cessna 172 has appeared in movies and TV shows, often portraying the quintessential light aircraft. Despite its simplicity, it's capable of aerobatic maneuvers like chandelles and lazy eights when flown by skilled pilots. The 172 was one of the first general aviation aircraft to be certified for flight into known icing conditions with appropriate equipment. The Cessna 172 Skyhawk is more than just an airplane, it's a symbol of aviation spirit. A trusty companion that has taught millions of pilots to fly safely and confidently. Its legacy is woven into the history of flight training, general aviation, and countless personal stories around the world. At Aero Explorers, we celebrate the wonders of flight, from legendary aircraft like the 172 to the latest innovations in aviation technology. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Skyhawk, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Thanks for flying with us today, and until next time, keep your passion for aviation soaring high.